literally rapping, and my lion just, I got my headphones on like this. I'm like, yeah, you know that. Boom, my headphones on. And I was crying. I was so scared. I didn't know what happened. And he, you trying to play me? You trying to play me? I'm like, well, you trying to play me? You got all these skanks in here. Wow. And we started fighting, and we tore the plaques off the wall and everything. And he choked me out in the elevator, so I passed out. And look, and then look.
And you were still loving this man after all
I
of
don't
this.
know why. I don't know why. But I tell you sometimes, if he wasn't dead, I can't remember what about.
Literally rapping in my lion, just I got my headphones on like this. I'm like, yeah, you know that. Boom. My headphones, and I was crying. I was so scared. I didn't know what happened. And you trying to play me? You trying to play me? I'm like, well, you trying to play me? You got all these skanks right here? And we started fighting, and we tore the plaques off the wall and everything. And he choked me out in the elevator. Until I passed out. And look, and then look, and you were still loving this man after. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. But I tell you, sometimes their child, I'll be the first to admit that the relationship between Biggie and Lil' Kim was far from normal. 'Cause why was Kim casually joking about Biggie choking her until she passed out? Like, what? Well, after Biggie died, Kim surprisingly received a lot of backlash for how she betrayed Biggie and switched up on him. That actually caused a lot of damage to her career and reputation. But now we have people like Lil C saying that even though he was one of the people who fueled the hate train on Lil' Kim, she was actually one of the realest people Biggie ever had. I knew her before I knew Big. You know what I'm saying? I knew Kim before I knew Big. That's why the situation was so, that's why it lasted so long, 'cause it was so personal. It's not about nothing with court, with none of that. We're not going to even address that. But it's nothing to do with that. My apology was I wasn't a good brother to her. I made some wrong moves, some bad mistakes, and that was just the perfect time to do that. I didn't plan that. We was all having a great time. And I just know the comfort she needed, 'cause I know her, and I wanted to do that. I wanted to let her know that, I wanted to let all the people around know that. You know what I'm saying? And I just felt like that's what I wanted to do, and she deserved it. Apparently, while everyone was out here bashing Lil' Kim for being a traitor, according to C's, she's actually one of the people who stood by him through everything. Even though we've also heard about the nasty stuff Biggie did to Kim, like choking her until she passed out. Sheesh. Basically, Kim was misjudged, erased, and disrespected. Starting with the shady portrayal in the 2009 Notorious film. A messy clearance issue with Biggie's estate, a nasty feud with Biggie's mom, Beto Wallace. But despite it all, Kim still chose to take the high road. And yes, she even showed up at Biggie's mama's funeral. Baby, she's been through the most. But how about we just get right into it and what Lil C's had to say about fueling the hate train. So, like I said, Kim has always been called out for the things she has said over the years, with people claiming that she betrayed Biggie's legacy. For instance, there's an old recording where Lil' Kim was ranting about Biggie basically being trash and how Diddy always did nasty things to people, but he managed to get away with it all because of his money and connections. I don't get it. But, at the end of the day, like Puffy is Puffy. He will never it's all about what he can do, what he can get from people. That Puppy is, it's all about himself a lot of times, 'cause he never really did nothing for me. The thing is, Lil' Kim and Diddy became friendly in the 90s after Lil' Kim joined Junior Mafia, the hip-hop group that was started by the Notorious B.I. Biggie is the one who introduced Kim to Diddy. But surprisingly, Diddy never signed Lil' Kim to Bad Boy Records despite being her manager and her friend over the years. Apparently, Diddy never thought Kim was good enough. And Kim herself said that when she met Diddy, he wasn't impressed with her and didn't think she had what it took to be a successful female rapper. She even told MTV News, "Biggie did bring me to Puffy. He said, she's too pretty to be rapping. Female rappers don't look like her. What am I supposed to do with her?" Even after Lil' Kim's 1996 debut album, Hardcore, sold over 1 million copies, Diddy never signed her because he didn't think female rappers were capable of making platinum records. Now, in the rant, Kim spoke about Diddy being all about himself, how he never did stuff for her when she was locked up, while people like Oprah and Tyra wrote to her while she was in prison. For those who recall, Lil' Kim ran into legal trouble and spent a year in prison from 2005 to 2006 for federal perjury. And when she was talking about how she was disappointed that Diddy never visited her, she said, "I'm bothered by his actions because I rolled with Puffy to the bitter end and still would have rolled with him. Puffy never came to see me in prison, not one time. He didn't write me a letter. He didn't say, here's a number for Kim to call. Not one time." She actually called out Diddy for visiting Lil Wayne in prison instead of her. Adding, "Then because of your little business situations over there with Cash Money and Rick Ross and all of them, you going to see Wayne? And you want to know what made the situation even worse? While Kim was in prison, Diddy started working with her rival, Nicki Minaj. And when he was asked about it, he completely threw Kim under the bus and said that Nicki was his artist and Lil' Kim was not. Me working with Nicki Minaj has nothing to do with going against Kim. When Kim works with other producers, when she raps with other artists, I'm not getting upset. It's not a problem. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And hold on. Let me get finished. I think that a lot of us that have been here for a long time, including yourself, flex. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? We have inspired a lot of people. Yes. We have motivated a lot of people. We have touched a lot of people in a certain way. We've been those cats that people have aspired to be. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't be around Nicki if I ever heard nothing ever negative said about Kim. You know what I'm saying? I never heard nothing like that. But then when it comes to just being an MC, that's when I got to stand back. You know what I'm saying? Now, if they want to do things and be MCs, that's their business. I'm not with any negativity. I'm not with no beef. You know what I'm saying? And I love both of them. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, right now, Nicki Minaj, that's who my artist is. That's who I consult. That's who I do business with. I don't know. I no longer do business with Kim on that level, but Kim will always have a special place in my heart. Anywho, in the rant, Lil' Kim also talked about her relationship with Biggie, admitting that she was his mistress when he was married. Then she recounted a story about a fight with Biggie in the studio where he threw her headphones and she passed out in the elevator after he choked her. She also talked about how Biggie slept with several different women because at the end of the day, he was just a man like every other man. But she also said that she still loved him. Speaking of Biggie sleeping with various women, we've heard stories about how he was always cheating on Faith and how Faith even fought Lil' Kim numerous times because of Biggie. Well, her main hatred towards Kim at the time was because Kim and Biggie acted like they were family, but were really messing around. She even once told a story about how she went to Biggie's house around the holidays and caught him and Kim naked in bed. Then Big tried to convince Faith that he didn't sleep with Kim, but it was pretty obvious what was really going on there. Well, what people have been saying over the years is that Kim switched up on Biggie after he died, and she actually faced serious consequences. For starters, she was portrayed really badly in the Notorious film. And Lil' Kim was not happy with how she was portrayed. In fact, she said she was completely blindsided. She wasn't consulted, wasn't involved, and said that the version of her on-screen was flat-out disrespectful. In addition, in 2014, Kim was supposed to be featured on a song with Monica. Yes, the Monica. And word on the street was that the track would include a Biggie sample or reference, but guess what? The estate of the Notorious B.I., which was run by his mother, reportedly refused to clear it. That's right. Kim, the woman who literally helped build Biggie's sound and image, was blocked from honoring him in music. And listen, it wasn't just about paperwork. Fans believed it was personal. The tea is that the estate didn't want to associate with Kim anymore, especially after her public criticism of the Notorious film. And let me not even begin with how Valletta Wallace was vocal in interviews describing Lil' Kim as an exhibitionist, a thief, a liar, even accusing her of stealing a mink coat from Biggie's home. Now, allegedly, Lil C's was among the people who was fueling all these narratives against Kim. But he recently admitted he was wrong about Lil Kim and acknowledged his role in her negative portrayal after Biggie's death. And he stated that Kim deserved more credit for her support of Biggie both during his life and after his passing. Remember back in 2005, C's testified against Lil Kim during her perjury trial where she was accused of lying to a grand jury about her involvement in a 2001 incident at NYC's Hot 97 studios. And Kim would go on to serve a 1-year sentence on perjury and conspiracy charges regarding Junior Mafia's connection to the incident. At the time of the trial, Lil C spoke with MTV about his rationale behind testifying, explaining that he felt like he didn't have a choice in the matter, and he said me and Kim wasn't on good terms for the moment, and she made it clear to the world that she didn't want to have anything to do with me and my peoples. So, she was trying to call us to her.